Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our New Frontier Survival Challenge where we started from nothing with a truck and a chainsaw. And yet here we are. Look at this. Now some of y'all will be looking at my property and be like, well, it looks the same. It does not look the same. Go back to episode 1, tell me this looks the same. But we have so much equipment. We just bought this yesterday. Oh my God, I can't wait. We will be getting this thing out and doing some work today. You can believe that. But what is the purpose of today? How you doing, Mac? Appreciate you. Also, I think we call this Voldemort. This is Voldemort. Clearly. Like, I don't know what else you call it. It is Voldemort. From henceforth. Anyway, with that being said, what is our goals for today? Well, first of all, I need to bring something over here to fill up this old sawmill today, so that's going to be a thing. But also, more than that, we also need to make sure that we clear all of the rest out of this corner. We're going to be selling some stuff in order to make some money, in order to get that cultivator that we talked about yesterday. Not cultivator, it was... Subsoiler, question mark. Yes, this thing. The Ozdoken Bolton. That is what we're after. It is a 4.1 meter working width. Requires 175 horsepower, which is exactly what we have in the green tractor. Also, a couple of y'all been telling me in the comment section that my tractors need a little bit of repairs, need a little TLC. And while you are correct, they are a little bit needing TLC. I think the other thing that people forget is when you attach a piece of equipment to your tractor, it effectively lowers the overall condition. So my tractors aren't actually that damaged, at least not to the point where, holy mother of choppiness. Can we get this going? Huh? Farm Sim? You hear me? Are we good? Sometimes the game just, oh my God. Ah! I'm gonna hurt the Farm Sim gods if they don't get this under control. Why is my game looking all... Okay, maybe it'll usually fix itself after a few minutes. So I do apologize for the drop in frames initially. I don't even know if it's going to show up for you guys, but it shows up for me, and that's bad. I prefer quality over everything, right? That's why I've been playing on console, because my PC isn't quite capable of doing the game at high quality with recording and streaming and that sort of stuff. So I do have this game on PC, and I am waiting for a new graphics card so that I can try to play it. But yeah, so our goal is to transform what you guys see before you into a lovely grass field. But it's going to take time. But our goal is to clear cut the forest using this beautiful new thing. Now, some of y'all have been saying, Spartan, that is not going to do what you think it is. And by that, you're wrong. This will absolutely do exactly what I think it'll do. And to prove it, let's get this party started. So, for those of you wondering, this is the harvester header, and a lot of the sentiment around it seems to be that this is not a feller buncher header, that it will not strip the trees, it will not cut the trees into sections, in which case I have to tell you that you're wrong. Respectfully, of course. But while we move this slow thing down here, let's go ahead and turn this thing on. Can't really see it. Hold that thought. Oh God. Wrong button. I wanted to spin it. There we go. Because we can still go that direction and spin this around so we can see the light. I saw the light. I saw the light. You see those little grindy bits? Those are what delimb the tree. And then there's, of course, the saw that comes out of the bottom and kind of swings over like a chainsaw. Alright? So just for those who have been wondering, I appreciate the ideas, the thoughts, but this will absolutely work for what we're after, which is a feller buncher as well as a grappler to load up our truck after the fact. But to prove it to you once and for all, there's no better way to prove it other than going straight in and grabbing our first tree. So the good thing is, this thing's a really heavy machine, right? So even though these are really big trees, they're not really going to beat up on this machine all that much. Meaning that I can kind of beat them up a little bit. And so that's what we're planning to do. Now I've got this set to 8-meter lengths, as you can see. And watch what you see ahead of you guys. Are you ready? 8-meter log, blue. 8-meter log, blammo. And 8-meter log. Boop. And one last, basically 8-meter log, maybe a slightly longer. It's going to cut like the very tip of the tree off. So we are going to have a little bit of extra sitting around, which is not ideal. But that's fine. We can toss this over this direction for the time being. Alright. But now that you guys have seen what the plan is, we're going to set ourselves up for the tree. We're going to back up a little bit. Now, I will say this. The one downside about this is we're not really going to be able to get it nice and pretty because it doesn't have the rotation once you have a tree on. Like, normally you'd be able to rotate the header around, but we don't really have a good rotation, unfortunately. But, yeah. Other than that, we're simply going to make a mess, essentially. Basically, we're just going to make a mess. Let's be real. Now, eventually, I would like to get to a point where we're making nice, pretty stacks. But unfortunately, for the time being, that is not the best stack you've ever seen in your life. So all you logging folks out there, look away. I apologize. I want to do better. And you can see that it does rotate, and I did try to rotate it, but once you grab a tree, it can no longer rotate, unfortunately. It doesn't have the oomph. We're going to try to get as close to the ground as possible. Just walk up on the tree. Grab a hold. And I kind of want to bring this over this direction, actually. Now we'll try to get a better stack this time. Boy, that header just flops all over the place, don't it? When there ain't no wood in there, or when ain't no tree. Alright, so what we want to do is we kind of want to set this up so that when it falls, that we're in line with the rest of what we have. We're going to bring this down about ground level, a little bit higher than that. There we go. Hello? That was the wrong button. Okay. Apparently I was already lined up good. Alright, now if we turn this direction, lift it up, turn it, I can't see very well. That should work. It's close anyway. But if I do this correctly, we should end up with a pretty decent looking little stack. The only thing that's annoying is because we're doing 8-meter logs, we end up with this little extra bit, which isn't ideal, but is what it is. And we just shoot that out over the ground. And we come back over here, grab another. Again, we want to lower this down to about ground level. Walk it into the tree. There you have it. It is that simple. Let's see. The only thing that I know is going to be an issue is I'm going to get confused sooner or later. You can see we are leaving pretty massive tree stumps, which is not ideal. We want to be as close to the ground as possible. Oh God. Hello? I might try putting them out this direction. There's a lot more space out here. Maybe if we grab them and pull them this way, this will help. But you can already see how much nicer it is to have a piece of equipment that's sole purpose is to do this job. Alright. Now the goal here is simple. To try to get these to fall in the way that I want them to. That's not necessarily as easy as you think. Now an experienced operator would have no trouble with this. But I am not all that experienced with this particular machine. We're going to have those little sticks everywhere. I can already see how this is going to end up being a pain. Now, while this thing may not be the fastest piece of equipment you've ever seen in your life, it is effective at what it does. But again, the downside is that I can't turn the tree. Like, it just kind of turns me. So these stacks aren't the prettiest that you'll ever see. But they're a heck of a lot prettier than what I'm used to doing. And once it comes time to loading, like, this will be nothing. Like, we're going to have no trouble at all. want to point this that way. There we go. You can see it rotates this way, but as soon as you have a tree, it like doesn't have the oomph, which is less than ideal. All right, so this stack is good. We're gonna go ahead and try to walk past this stack, get straightened up if we can. I don't know why it's showing all the way over there when I'm clearly trying to grab this tree in front of me. You know what? Screw it. Screw it. We'll do it live. Now these Scotch pine may not be worth as much money, but the one thing they will do is A, go towards filling up our sawmill, but also they're going to do us good when it comes to like not having to worry as much about like. Oh man. Okay, get off my track. Thank you. They're going to be used for our sawmill production. Basically, is what I was getting at in a roundabout way. Why is this not like wanting to? There you go. It just does not want to work. Oh dear Lord. It's okay. It pulled it through. I was going to say, if it gets stuck there, I'm going to be a little upset. Now, obviously, the lodgepole pine is what we're going to be using to do our thing. I just hate how it ends up spinning this head around. And I wish that we could like rotate the head while we were doing what we're doing. But as soon as you grab a tree, like it loses its ability to turn. It doesn't have enough oomph. Why is it not grabbing the tree? Boy, it just does not want to work. Being a temperamental little turd. Yeah, you can see I can't actually turn it at all, which is a shame. Now what'll happen is then as soon as it gets rid of that first one, or maybe the second one, it'll try to turn. Oh, there we go. So once I get rid of the first chunk of the tree, it can turn. It's just that first chunk it doesn't like to turn. It's too heavy. Which, in fairness, you are lugging around an entire tree, for God's sakes. I guess that kind of makes sense. There, we'll go forward, grab that last piece, or the last tree right here. But the main thing that this is going to help us with is just no longer having to worry about all the little twigs that you have to cut off the trees, having perfect lengths that we want every single time. So we don't have to worry about that aspect. And when you think about the amount of trees that we're cutting down now, compared to what we were cutting before and how long it took. Like we've been cutting for maybe 15 minutes, something like that. And look how much wood we've managed to cut. And like I said, once we start loading this stuff into a truck, it's just going to be that much easier to do so. All right, so let's get this taken over to the place. Yeah, we're going to be cutting into 6-meter lengths from here on out, just for the ease of use. If we had a better trailer, I think it'd be okay. Like if this trailer extended a little bit and allowed us, like, but 8 meters is clearly too long for this trailer. So I think we just go for the double sixes and make everything look pretty, because this was annoying because of the overlap. Like, the physics alone are one thing, but the overlap of this trailer with 8-meter logs is just not working. So we will be taking a little bit of a bump in, or like a hit in prices going to 6 meters, but I think ease of loading is going to be much nicer, in theory. The fun fact is there is no way to get a 7-meter length log with this build. You've got a 6-meter and then it jumps to 8 meters. Like, I feel like a 7-meter log maybe would be a little bit better, but yeah, clearly these 8-meter logs are just too long. They're just too long, which we already knew, but still, seeing it in action and dealing with the frustration of trying to load those due to my hard-headedness was fun. Now you can see, like, the first stack looks good, right? But it's so long that it takes up the majority of the trailer. It just ain't worth it. Put it into perspective, it's 50% longer than the actual thing should be. So as you can see, we're about 50% of a tree hanging over the back, which is not ideal. So yeah, I think going forward, we set the machine to cutting to 6 meters and just load them that way. It'd be nice if we had a better log trailer though, ain't gonna lie. Like, I know on PC they've got some longer log trailers that allow you to pull like 8s and whatnot, but yeah, we don't have that, unfortunately. But this should be, in theory, our best load yet, I would assume. I don't know how many trees are on here. I'm just going to assume that it's the best load yet. And hopefully we get more than, I want to say the best that we've got, like 60 grand or something like that. I forget what we were getting when we put 10 trees on there, but this ought to be pretty close, if not better. Alright, so we're going to pull up. We want to back in catty corner here. Good old catty corner. Alright, let's go something like that. And then we should be able to go ahead and click the button. Place your bets on what do you think the price of this truck is going to be. I think it's going to be our best one yet. Mainly because of how nice this front stack looks. I feel like they're impressed. The back half, they're probably not impressed with. But, yeah, let's go. Boop. 68,000. Oh! We were so close. If we would have had $700 more on this trailer, we'd have had 69. Nice. But, nope. Alas, we did not. All right, but that's still good. You know why? You know why I left Little Green over here instead of driving Little Green back? Simple. We got equipment to buy, folks. I said we were going to be doing it. The whole purpose of us starting with the excavator today was to buy the new cultivator for us. We got plenty of money in the bank for that. So we're going to do that today. You didn't think I was going to do it today, did you? We're not going to plant it today, but we are going to turn our area around our farm into a big old muddy mess. But you can see Lil Green sitting over here waiting, right? Good Lord, Mac. There's no wait. I need brakes. All right, let's go to Subsoilers. We want this thing. $12,500. Boop. Oh, wait. We can change the color. Can we now? I like the red, or I like the black there. I'm assuming that, yeah, I think this is fine. We're not going to bother. Just take it. All right. Grab Lil Green. Did we, in fact, fix the tractor? Let's go ahead and fix the tractor while we're here. Yeah, because y'all were talking about how it needs repairs, and it sure does. $5,000 worth of repairs. But she's repaired and ready to go. Lil Green is going to be a good worker for us today, hopefully. Because also, when we get back to the farm, we're going to need to fill this thing up with fuel. Getting low on fuel. Speaking of fuel, we probably ought to look and see how much fuel we have on Mac. Alright, we'll be back for Mac in a moment. I know that rhymes, but we'll get this over to the farm. It's time to till up the land for the first time. Now, some of you guys may call this cheating, but I mean, in real life, you don't always bring a plow to break the topsoil. Like here in the U.S., like I know we use tillers, we use what do you call it? What's the other thing? A disc harrow. Disc harrow can do it as well. Maybe not as efficiently as a plow, but you need a lot more horsepower for plows, I feel like. So a lot of what you'll see on the smaller farms and stuff is just subsoilers and disc harrows. Just something to break up the soil. I could be wrong though. I ain't no farmer. I just play one on TV. Yeah, I'm so excited, folks. And as you can see, the big thing about this particular thing is that it does allow us to create fields. So even though we don't have the Allow Create Fields mod, this particular implement, which is a mod, allows us to use it to create a field. So big props for that mod. I used to love the Allow Create Fields mod using it was just called a field creation mod. And it allowed a lot of different cultivators at multiple different working widths to do what they're going to do. Now, I don't know if we're going to get the entire property today, but we're definitely going to get the area around the house and around the swamp, the spring, right? So we're going to be getting Larry out of there. We're going to move our stump grinder out the way, and we're going to hit this area specifically. We got a lot of stuff to move. But we'll get that taken care of in a minute. But for now, let's get Mac back over to the property. And it looks like we can get some fuel in Mac as well when we get over there. I could have just fueled up while I was right next to the fuel station. But, we'll be alright. We'll be alright. But yeah, I think going forward, using 6-meter logs is the way to go. Just due to the fact that, like, it's too obnoxious for this trailer, and we don't have a 7-meter option. I feel like a 7-meter option would give us a little bit better, because that means only 2 meters would be hanging over the back, in theory. Whereas with 8 meters, we've got 4 meters hanging over the back, which I think we can all agree on is no bueno. And even if we didn't have the back plate on, like there isn't much room between the back of the cab of this truck and the where the logs would be anyway, so you're not really going to get much out of that either. But we'll park Mac over here for the time being. We'll just leave this area south of the greenhouse. Let's get the excavator out the way. Actually, the excavator's probably fine. We're going to be working mainly over this direction. This stuff all needs to be moved, because this is in the working area, so we'll just start moving all this stuff one by one down to the bottom. Because I do intend to knock all this stuff out of the way. And for those wondering, we will be getting into we'll be planting this as a grass field, even though I don't intend to necessarily always mow it. Like, it's not, like, silage, as cool as it is, isn't our #1 priority. Okay? Right now, we are focusing on our trees, logging, that sort of stuff. But we'll move all this stuff out the way for the time being. That'll give us plenty of room to do what we're going to do. We also have quite a bit of money in the bank in terms of potentially doing a little bit of terraforming, which I may do some smoothing to kind of make things look halfway decent. But for the time being, we're going to focus around the top area here first and foremost. I would like to get a lot of other stuff done too, and you can see all the equipment we got to move. Like, we got so much stuff to move. But we got Little Red. Little Red is a good tractor. He can move all this stuff, no problem. Will be kind of cool to pull all this stuff down here and take a look at it, you know, next to one another, because you see all of the progression from one to the next, all in one spot. Hard to believe how much equipment we've got, actually, when you think about where we started and all of the work we've put in. Like, it is pretty awesome. Baler down there. I will say this: you are going to end up missing out on some of the like red grass and stuff. I don't think it'll be red anymore. I think it'll just be regular green grass from here on out. But still, other than losing a little bit of color, which I do like, by the way, I like the extra color. I think just getting everything uniform and looking pretty is going to be the way. It's going to make it look way nicer. I'll just be interested to see what the place looks like without all the goddamn bushes. I hate the bushes. Bushes make the area look so bad. Like, I know what they were there for. It was part of the aesthetic of the forest and all that stuff. But once you got rid of the forest, it just looks terrible. So I'll be glad to see those go. But the windrower should be the last thing. I guess we got the winch here too. Move that out the way. Putting all of our equipment next to each other in a line like this just kind of brings a little bit of perspective to the farm, doesn't it? Let's go up and get the winch. Actually, let's grab that stump cutter out the way, bring it over, and then we'll grab the winch. But this will be an ongoing project to make this area beautiful, man. It's going to take a little bit of time. but you guys will get you guys will get to see the start of the project anyway. We'll probably time lapse it a little bit just to. We'll show you guys probably in real time the like start, because I know a lot of people are asking about it. And normally you would use a plow in the game. I don't know if there's any other way to do it without a mod. But the other thing is, I'm on console. A lot of people seem to be missing that when I tell people that I'm playing the game. They recommend mods and stuff that just simply aren't available on console. Alright, Little Red's out the way. Let's get this party started. Little Green, I'm gonna get some fuel for you while we're here. But it's time. Seriously? Is there a fuel tank on this side? Yep. Fuel tank's on this side. I see it right now. It's right there. Alright. So, I think, actually, almost forgot. Gotta move Larry out the way. Larry, you're doing a good job. Where are you? You're hiding over here. Larry, good job and all, but I'm gonna need you to step out the way. We got work to be done. I'll put you over here. You can be a foreman. Okay, supervise me. I need it. Actually, I forgot to move this. Let me grab that real quick, because that'll be part of the thing too. Drop the winch. We'll grab the water trailer, pull it out the way. Might as well fill this up while we're here. Okay, didn't take much. That didn't take much. Alright. Now we shut her down. And we get this party started. Now, first things first, I think we want to get as close to the... You know what? Actually, first things first, we probably ought to do a little bit of terraforming, huh? Alright, let's get into the... Let's save real quick. I don't know how much this is going to cost to terraform, but I just kind of want to do a little bit of smoothing in the area. And I don't think smoothing costs all that much, hopefully. I guess it depends on how much smoothing you do. But if I go down here and I go to smooth, soften, there we go. If we click this, and we just kind of go over everything as best we can. I hate how some of the areas are restricted. Alright, how's that looking? Just kind of giving us a little smoothing, or softening, whatever you want to call it. All right. That tree's got to go. How long you been there? They kind of blend in, don't they? All right, it's time. We're going to pull right up next to this. We're going to drop. Press Y to enable field creation. All right, we'll turn right here. Come on, little green pole. I will say that Little Green seems to be not happy about pulling this thing. But again, we knew this was going to be the case. It is a very nasty, hilly area. And we are maxing out the horsepower requirement of this or the horsepower capabilities of this tractor with this implement. This was always going to be the case. We ought to be getting close to the edge of our property line. Yep. Right on cue. Now, one thing I will say is, as we go through here and do all this, we are going to have to do some work later on. This is just our preliminaries, right? Like it's just kind of a rough idea of what we can look forward to in the future. And I think you guys will get the gist of it. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of feel like we need some heavier weights or something. Get a little bit more traction, maybe. I feel like we're spinning the tires quite a bit. All right, I'll be right back. We're gonna try something. Let's go over here and see what we can do with this tractor. See if we can get some better tires. We've got the money for it. If we go in here and go to customize, I feel like Nokians are pretty cool. Communals, no. We want wheel weights. Okay. What about Vertestein? Twins? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're forward. You know what? Let's just go with it. Let's give Green some big old fat duels. There we go. Now let's see if he struggles to get this thing pulled around. We'll be putting that power to the ground now for sure. Now, again, I do realize that this is one of those situations where we're not going to have... let's go ahead and allow create fields. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and time-lapse this for you guys so you guys ain't stuck sitting here watching me for the next 40 minutes as I create this, because this is going to take a while. So, yeah, enjoy the show, and I'll see you guys when it's all said and done. All right, so the good news is we're done. We're done with this area for the time being. Now you can see there's clearly some like issues down this way. I've been trying to get as close to this without falling in as possible. But this stream is clearly like a placed object, so you can only get so close to it without everything looking all jank. So we're gonna try to just extend this field a little bit further. You saw all the stumps that I'm gonna have to get rid of, and unfortunately the stumps are gonna be a thing down here as well. But I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of where we're going to go with this whole situation. And that is cleaning everything up as best as possible. Because right now, it's a bit of a mess. Right? Again, I know there's a lot of stumps down through here. From the 87 trees that we planted and harvested through here. And I do intend on cutting a lot of this forest back as well. All right, so you can get an idea of just how much of this I'm going to be cleaning up. Let's go ahead and fly, shall we? Look how much we've already done, right? Like, we've done this entire area over here. We're going to leave this because, I mean, this is on the side of a mountain, essentially, so it doesn't do me any good to do. Plus, that's getting outside my property. But you can see all of this is eventually going to be cleaned up and made pretty. South of this is the rest of our farm, right? Like, we'll clean up this area too. This is going to be brought down and matched with this. As a matter of fact, I might just go ahead and do that now, just to kind of show for austerity purposes. Just kind of go straight this direction if we can, and then bring it up to the top. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Just to kind of give you guys the best idea as what we're looking at in terms of the overall scope of this project. Now, this is just our home base area, right? Like, this was initially forested and everything solely to clear the property and make it nice for our area, and it already looks a gajillion times better than it did when it first started. Now, right now it's a muddy mess, but just picture this in lush grass and niceness. It's going to be beautiful. It really is. Alright, now if we come down through here, we're just going to stick to the inside of this area. Because again, this is right on the edge of our property line. I know there's a lot of stumps in here that's got to go too. But I eventually want to bring all of this together. Basically right where that giant tree stump is, that's definitely going to cause me an issue. We'll try to go around that. Then we'll combine this. Alright, so now you guys get the full scope of the project. We ain't done yet, and like I said, this is just the first stage. Like, clearing the property of the woods is the first stage, right? Like, we got to clear these trees here, all along through here, because we're going to be planting some shrubbery and trees and stuff to make the area look nice. But first things first, we got a few little straggler trees that we'll throw into the sawmill. And then once we get that, then we'll move all of our equipment back up into this area somewhere. It's maybe up here, since it'll be off the property and out of the way. We'll move that stuff out of the way. Then we'll come through. We'll have to get a cedar or a grass planter, whichever we get. The grass planter is actually probably going to be what we get, because it's got a little bit wider working width. Even though it's a solely one purpose built thing, I think that'll be a good thing. But look how much property we still have to like work, right? Like, I gotta clear all of this stuff, and then I gotta fill it all in with the subsoiler that we just did. So we gotta do this with all of this, and then also all of this down here. Now there's a lot of cleaning up to do, but you guys can see the bigger picture now, hopefully, right? This is going to look fantastic when we're done with it, right? And then once we get this all done, like, we're also still going to be doing our farming and stuff over here. Like, we got all these trees planted over here. Don't forget, we got 200 trees that are growing over here. This area is going to be a pretty dense forest in the very near future, full of beautiful lodgepole pines forest. And you can see the absolutely lovely road that goes all the way back to the starting area. Like, we've got our work cut out for us. But now that we've kind of got the idea started for you guys, you see that I'm not just leaving everything. And this trailer is just temporary as well. Because from this point forward, everything that we produce off the sawmill, I'm going to count. Where'd it go? Oh, God. I'm going to count everything for the sawmill that we are about to put into this, this log cabin. Because I know what it takes to make this log cabin. So I'm going to go ahead and stack up enough materials. We're not going to be selling anymore. We're going to stack up enough materials to start building the log cabin. And then we will end up having to buy some things like furniture and cement bags, I believe. So there are other things that we're going to have to buy too. But that's going to get us started on completing this beautiful house. And once this is built, we buy this property here as well, which I think will be the next piece of property we buy. I know I said that the next piece of property was going to be elsewhere, but I think the next piece of property, since I've seen a couple of people asking about it, is going to be this piece right here. So we're going to need $144,000 for that. And then we buy that, we'll be able to easily have access to our log cabin up there. Once we have the log cabin finished, that trailer goes away. We will smooth everything out like it never existed in the first place. And we are going to be set, guys. It's going to be beautiful. But I think that's where we go ahead and end this episode. By the time you guys come back, this will likely already have been at least started, or maybe we continue this in the next episode, because it's getting kind of dark, which is why I want to go forward in time, so we have a little bit better lighting, because it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. But you guys see the plan, I'm sure, right? Like, there is a rhyme and a reason for what we're doing. It may not look pretty yet, but we're getting there, folks. Let's go back up here to our house and just take a look out over the water here. Again, you can't really see much, but look how nice it looks without all the shrubbery and bushes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just turned this in a few minutes from something that looked kind of crazy into something that shows promise, right? Like, you guys can see the picture that I'm going for in my head. All right? So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.